Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review in partnership with name brand wigs. This is a Belle Tress wig. The name is Citrus Mint and the color is Roca Margarita Blonde. This is going to be one of those rave reviews, you guys. I love this wig so far. It is adorable. This color is surprisingly awesome. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. So if you want to know more about this wig or this color, then stick around. I love partnering with name brand wigs. They're a fantastic resource for us wig wearers. They are an online retailer. I have been shopping with them since the very beginning of my wig wearing journey, and I highly recommend them. They have a lot of resources at their website, but they have a great customer service team, and you can email them for help, support@namebrandwigs.com. You can also call them. So if you're struggling right now and you're just not sure, you need some advice, maybe you need some color advice, please reach out to them. You can find them at namebrandwigs.com, and I will link this wig in the description. All right, guys, let's take a look at this color from all around. This style is fabulous. I am falling in love very quickly with this style. It's a really beautiful, kind of moderate density piece. It's not light density, but it's not super heavy density. It's kind of right in between both. And it's got really nice movement. Now, Belle Tress makes heat-friendly fibers. They really don't have non-heat-friendly pieces. So this is heat-friendly, and their fibers are not super light and wispy. They're not the thickest, heaviest fibers I've ever had, but they're sort of in between. So I consider this more of a medium density hair, but it doesn't have any permatease. If you see sort of volume on Belle Tress wigs, you don't typically see it on top. Where you see it is down here. So this one feels a little bit voluminous all right in here, but it's not poofy. There's no permatease on top, so it really lays naturally and makes sense. If you were to style your bio hair like this and put these fun waves in, you're probably using a lot of product, thickening product, holding product, different things to help achieve this look. So it does make sense that it's a little more full toward the bottom. Now, before I show you the cap, one thing I will mention, it's fairly front heavy. You can see that it's really close to my face right here. For me, hair like this is not everyday hair. I don't do well if the hair is hanging in my face. I really need it more out of my face and out of the way if I'm, running errands, running around, even working. If I'm looking down a lot, this is going to come forward a lot. Now, there's lots of things you can do if you struggle with that on your wigs. One of the things is if it has a lace front like Citrus Mint does, you can take and you can just clip it away from the face, maybe take little claw clips or little bobby pins, and you can clip it away because this lace front is so good. Let's take a look at that. It's a great lace front, especially with a light color like this, because you don't see any dark knotting. So if you struggle with a wig like this, just know there's lots of fun things you can do with a style like this. And if you struggle with no volume on the top, I tend to like a little bit of volume on the top. It balances out my face structure. One way I can achieve that is by taking a clip and lifting up the whole front and doing a little bit of a bump it. And this wig is perfect for that because of these waves. It's adorable. Another thing that you could do is you could take a hot comb or some sort of heat implement, and you can just get lift in the front by using it. I actually have a video where I show you how to do that with a Belle Tress wig. I will link that in the description because it can help you just taking some heat to this front and doing this with a hot air brush or a hot comb. But do you see kind of the technique you would use? And then suddenly you've got more lift. The other thing to keep in mind is since these are heat friendly fibers and it rubs on your clothing, you are going to get a little bit of friction damage on the ends. I show you in a couple of different videos how to deal with that. You will want to take heat to this regularly, depending on how often you wear it and for how many hours you wear it. You may need to take heat to it every few wears. If you only wear it very rarely and you don't wear it for long, maybe you go out for date night for 2 hours, you might not need to take heat to it as often. But the more you will take heat to this, the more you will straighten these waves out. So you'll want to be gentle and maybe learn how to curl a heat-friendly wig or put waves back in. It will make the care of these wigs so much more enjoyable and not as stressful. All right, let's take a look at this cap. So this has a center part. This is called a partial mono because a full mono would take up the whole top section here, and then you could part it anywhere. You're really stuck parting it in the center because it's pretty narrow, but then this is what's called a half moon lace front, and look at how deep it is on the sides. It sort of is deep, and then it goes into that. What that means is you could do a sort of off-center part. You're not necessarily going to be able to see all that parting space on the top, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you really love this style and you can't do a center part, if you just off-center part it a little bit, that goes back pretty far. So you'll have parting space that goes back to about here. So it will look like a natural parting space. Something to think about and maybe try. This is soft velvet ear tabs with bendable stays, not an extended nape, and pull adjusters or bra strap adjusters. Now, Belle Tress is known for running big. I actually have a blog post at my website where I share how to measure your head and how to determine what will fit you. And toward the end of that post, I actually have a chart where I list all the different major name brand manufacturers and if they run smaller than average, average, or more average large. So if you could benefit from that, I will link that in the description. So this one is running kind of true to Belle Tress size. They run a little big on me. I typically have to cinch them in a little bit, and I do have a 22-inch circumference. I usually get some extra cap up here as well, and they have really good stretch, typically. Along with all of that, I get really pretty good coverage from Belle Tress. So let me just, those ear tabs have bendable stays in them, and someone just recently asked me why. It's so that you can squeeze it in, sort of bend it inward, then it will hug your head. And you cannot really see my bio hair here right now. That means I'm getting excellent coverage. Sometimes you can in some wigs if they don't give me good coverage. And then I have to be careful what color I choose, which brings me to color. What is it? Roca Margarita Blonde. I chose this color because I'd never seen it before and I wanted to review it. I did not think that this would be a color for me. I am so surprised by how much I like this color. So this color is a kind of a silvery blonde. And the way they describe it is, I'm going to look at my computer over here, a blend of silver, pure ash, and coconut blonde with soft, cool, it says medium and light brown roots. I don't see any medium brown in these roots. I think they're just light brown. And there's barely a root there. So it's really kind of an ashy, silvery blonde. It's not gray exactly, but it does sort of pull a little bit of gray. That's that silver. So if you're looking for a sort of a platinum blonde, you like the really ashy blondes, but you don't want gray, I don't know if this is the right color for you. I definitely think in some lighting, it might pull a little bit gray. Let me take it off. And then sometimes I can, if I get out of the camera, sometimes I can give you a better, pure look at the color. So what you can see here, let me see if I can demonstrate. So we've got these sort of silvery, almost white, but then we've got these beautiful darker tones in here. Do you see it? Every now and then you get like a little bit of a darker tone. I'm loving that. I think it is so pretty. And it sort of breaks it up so that it doesn't seem so gray. If you are going gray and your hair was more of a light brown, this could be such a good color for you because I think it will really complement what your bio hair is doing. And then again, it's a very soft root. Let me turn it around and get my hand situated here. Very soft, light brown root. Barely there. And that color sort of blends into some of these darker color, the darker blonde, or I don't know if that's the coconut blonde. But it's so complementary and it just sort of flows into those other colors. It's so stunning. I really like this color. So before we get outside, so I can show you this color outside, I just want to give you a quick side-by-side look with Butterbeer Blonde. Not because they're sister colors by any stretch, but I want to sort of impress upon you how this root is so light. Because I want you to see the difference. Can you see that difference? So this is really barely a root. And then Butterbeer Blonde, in my opinion, has a lot more of the kind of the darker, almost beigey color that is barely present in this one. So if you're trying to decide how maybe those low lights look, I would say that that coconut is more of a kind of a really light beige blonde, and it's barely in there. It gives this dimension and it prevents it from looking gray, but it's not strong, as you can see. I don't know if that helped you or not, but color is the hardest thing when it comes to wig wearing. And if you are very limited in your color palette or very particular, you don't have a lot of flexibility, you don't want anybody to know you're wearing a wig, then that can be really hard to decide. This is an ashy color, the rooting is ashy, it leans toward the silver grayish, but it's got great dynamic blending so that it doesn't look all the way gray. All right, everybody, let's get outside so you can see this color outside. Thank you so much to Name Brand Wigs for sending me this. I'm so thrilled to show it to everybody. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. All right, friends, here we are with Roca Margarita Blonde. It's a very ashy color, bordering on gray with this, like these beige, almost beige low lights running through it. Not warm. This color is not warm. It is definitely an ashy blonde. And actually, I need to take a look at that a little bit more. I can't. It's almost like they took a little bit of that beige and concentrated it a little more heavily on the top, which maybe technically could be considered a rooting, but it's not a brunette rooting or a dark rooting. I'll have to look at that more closely. I'm filming this before I do my review because I'm actually able to get outside. The weather's been horrible and it's hard for me to get outside to do these. So when I have a day to do it, I just do it. So I haven't studied this color closely yet, but what I have noticed is it's not at all warm. And it definitely leans toward the gray blonde. So I'll study it a little more, and when I do the inside color section, I'll be a little bit more educated on this color, but at least you're getting to see it in outdoor light. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you.